Man, the past couple weeks we've been talking about real change. Everybody, this time of year, it's a good time going into a new year to make some really changes that need to take place. But what we find out is the hardest change, but real change, takes place on the inside. And that's what we really need. We need really a soul change, man, a heart change, a mental change. The physical is actually the easiest, you know. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there's no vision, the people perish. See, when you don't have a real direction, some real godly goals in your life, you know what happens? You become perishable. Things don't last for you. So where there is no vision, people perish. And if we want real change, the Bible says this. Paul tells Timothy that, hey, bodily exercise profits little, but godliness is profitable into all things. See, the focus has got to be really on godliness to bring real change into our lives. I think we all want that, don't we? We looked at Mark chapter 8 on Sunday too. It was a guy that was blind. He couldn't see. Jesus spits in his eye. You know, here holiness collides with his humanity. And then he says he looked up. The guy didn't see clearly at first, but then Jesus grabs him and says, look up. Forced him to look up. And I'll tell you what, if we set our sights, our vision on heavenly, on the godly, everything else will fall into place. So this is it. New vision, real change for the year, right? To forget things that are behind and press forward to the new. I want to give you three things. These three things I've read in a lot of leadership books through the years. But the first thing I just want to point out to you is if you want to see real change in your life, you need to take some time, sit down, and find your values. Find your core values. So check this out. If you want real vision or real change in your life, the first thing is, what do you value? This is actually an exercise that takes a little bit of time to do it correctly. But let me ask you a few questions. Like, what would you pay any amount of money for? What means that much to you? You know, there's guys in the Bible, you can tell kind of what they value by the way they behave, what they live their lives for. If I mention different people right now, stars, people that are popular, you can tell by what they spend their money on, what they're passionate about, because it's what they do. If I mention like, hey, what would you say John Madden? What would you immediately you would think of football. Yeah, it was a passion in his life. If I mention like Billy Graham, you would think of the gospel. He really, really values that. Now listen, I'm not talking about just exactly what God values and what the Bible values, because we all should have that. But within God's set of values, he made all of us different. He gave us all different personalities. Some people are more passionate about other things than other people, and that's totally okay. So let me give you a couple questions just to figure this one out. So what would you pay any amount of money for? How about this real practical? What makes you angry? That's a good way to figure this out. When you think about it, what in life really just gets under your skin and it makes you angry? And then the second question to follow this is, what makes you super happy? What brings you bliss? And if you can find those things out, it'll lead you to like the things you really value. And listen, if you're going to make change in your life, you got to put these things down. So take some time. This is not going to happen in 5 minutes. Go get yourself a cup of coffee, sit, pray, ponder. Really ask yourself, what do I value? What makes me angry in this life? What really makes me happy? Some of you, it could be a simple adventure. You like adventure, integrity, humility, quality, respect, courage. Some of you, you value education. That's okay. That's how God made you. So it's going to help give you a little vision, a little direction to help you bring change in your life. So find out what you value. That would be the first thing. If you're going to change, if you're going to have some real vision. So number one, find out what you value. Take some time and do that.